Hi, this is Woody. Welcome to Woody's 3D gun modeling with 3ds Max. Today we will have a look at modeling with 3ds Max, and we picked for this tutorial the Enfield rifle, and basically we will look at this rifle as a kit part object. So we are going to split this rifle into some sections, and just like this, we are going to have a lower body with a handle and a trigger and a armrest, and we are going to have a main body here with some air inlets, another handle, and some slots for fixing. And then we are going to model the scope that we are going to attach to this, and the extended the mags, the clip. And we are just going to ignore all this crap around, because basically this is not really visible here on the assembled model. So yeah, let's have a look on 3ds Max. Basically, if you open 3ds Max for the first time, you get these essential skills movies, which I totally encourage you guys to have a look. But I'm going to be covering some of these videos very briefly here on this tutorial. Basically, Max is split into user interface composed with a horizontal tab where you have your main toolbar, where basically you can select objects. You have some filters for the type that you're going to select. You can select by name. Basically, Max treats objects with a name always, and you can refer to them and select them by their names. Then you have the movement rotation scale, which is better if I just show you guys how to use it. So we just draw a box here, and if you have a look at this box, you can see that there's an x-axis, a y-axis, and a z-axis that represents the three dimensions that you find in space. And if you go to move, you see that change the icon of this point that represents the position of this box, and highlighted the axis in a way that if I pass my mouse on top of them, some of them just turn on, and basically they constrain your movements in space. So basically you can move an object everywhere. If you click and drag in one of the axes, you're going to constrain the movement towards that axis, like Z, Y, or even both planes. If I select this plane here, I'm going to constrain the Y and Z axis. Another thing that you have the rotation, which is the second button here, and it works is pretty much the same. You have your Z axis of rotation, Y and X, and then the other kind of transformer on space of an object is the scale, and same thing. You can just deform in Z, you can scale the whole object uniformly by selecting 3 planes, or just Y, X, whatever. Then you have like some other stuff on this horizontal menu, which is your snap toggle, angle toggle, have your render tools here, and the other menu that you have in Max, where you store your commands, is here all the time here on the right side, and you're going to be referring to this side of the screen quite a lot while modeling with Max. So let's just show you a little bit more about these commands here. So I'm just going to delete this box, and I'm going to show here that you have a create. That's a series of tabs that you have here, like create, modify, hierarchy, motion, sorry, and utilities. And then you have in the create, you have geometry, you have shapes, you have lights, cameras, systems, helpers, and another utility setting there. And let's just start by creating a rectangle here on the screen. So you have a rectangle there which has a name, which is by default rectangle 01. If I create another one, it's going to rename on a different way, probably rectangle 02. And then you have some properties on this rectangle. You have length, width, and corner radius. And I can start composing shapes by splines and then modifying them into geometry. I'm going to start by just basically extruding this rectangle. That's the amount that I'm extruding it, so that indicates the height. So you got from a rectangle a box. Then I'm going to add another modifier on top of that. So basically what can we see here is that Max works on a history basis. You can start with something and then you can add something to it, and then you can add something more, and you can go back to the first one sorry, and change the features of it. Going to the bend, I just select an angle, and you can see that bend modifier does pretty much what it is called from, just bends objects. But you can see here on the bend command that you have this orange shape here, which is the gizmo, is like the wrapper that is going to modify, and then it's going to translate that modification into your geometry. So you can see that it's not really working well with this box, because basically the box is quite stiff and doesn't have like a lot of resolution when it's being extruded. So you can see that you just have these edges here to work with. So if I go back to extrude, I can change the number of segments, height segments, to give more definition to my extrusion. Therefore, I have more information on the geometry to respond to the bend modifier, and you can see that it quite nicely fits inside the wrapper. I can go and add another modifier on top of that to create something different, like let's try with twist. Then does pretty much what it says, twists the shape. Sorry. You can see that basically you can shift between different view types on the screen. So I really encourage you to learn the toggle for that, which is F3. So if you press F3, you change from shaded mode to wireframe. Alternatively, you can just right click here and select the type of view that you want to have. So basically we deformed a rectangle into a box, and then we deformed this box into this kind of elliptic type of shape, and we can go back, change our box, and we are going to change what happened with all the commands that you've used after. Like you can add a corner radius to the box, and you can see that you can get some really nice edges here. Well, that covers the main features on the right menu. Then what you have below is one animation menu, and you have your view menu here, which just like F3 and F4 to toggle display types. I do encourage you to learn at least one shortcut for that, which is if you hold Alt and press your middle button on your mouse, you can just orbit around, and it's really good to really see what you're doing on screen. Okay, and I guess that covers the basics of modeling with Max. At least point that is enough for us to start modeling the Enfield rifle. Okay.